students do something with the information and they will remember it. Do you agree? We should put that on a poster. I'll put it on a poster later so you can remember it. Okay, let's do another group work activity. So, we all agree that communication skills are very important for your students.
Yeah.
What do we mean by communication skills? What are good communication skills? So close your books. Close your books. In your groups, this is group work. In your group, try to list out, agree on, and list out the top 10 communication skills. What do we mean communication skills? What is one communication skills, for instance? Tell me.
Listening.
Listening. For example, listening is a communication skill. So with your group, try to list out the 10 most important communication skills. One of them is listening. Now you write the rest. In your group, 10 communication skills. What do we mean by good communication? One is listening. Communication skills.
Listening is number one.
One is the
Number two, speaking. Number three, writing. Reading is writing. Reading, why not reading? You write or I read?
What's the communication? What's our communication?
Body language.
What do you mean? Clarity. Clarity. So good listening skills, able to express.
Speaking fluency, let us say fluency.
What else does it mean?
Accuracy.
So you continue.
And then
What can we call it?
Good communication. If you say he's a good communicator,
accuracy and pronunciation is also important.
he listens well. What else do you mean?
And writing.
Okay, that might be
Writing.
So you have to make a list.
Letter writing. In writing.
So the question is, if you say somebody has good communication skills, what does that mean? You say he has good communication skills. What do you mean? That's the question.
Speaking clearly, audibly,
Yeah, fine, that's one. Now think of
clarity, the simple search, good body language.
Okay.
Verbal and non-verbal communication.
In reading. Where do we include that one? Reading. Besides hands. Communication.
group say? Tell me some more.
Friendly, friendly.
Nice, yeah. Nice. Yeah. If you say he's a good communicator, usually it means also he's friendly.
Sympathetic, sympathetic.
Yeah. Instead of sympathy, I'm going to say empathy. It's almost the same. What does that mean, empathy?
Together.
Understanding others.
Feeling just like
Same feeling of others.
Confidence. Confidence.
Yeah.
Brevity. Yeah.
Brevity.
That's part of clarity.
Surya.
Speaking.
Brevity in the soul.
What else? Think about a boss. If you say he's a good boss, he has good communication skills.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Okay.
Leadership qualities.
No, he gives
Organization.
respect.
Respect. Yeah.
Teachers thanks and news whenever
He respects people, respects different points of view. What else? Yeah. So I'll show you, and this is in your handbook. This is what one expert says. And there are different opinions about this, but this is a good list. So we say a good communicator has good listening skills, good body language, what about this one? What does that mean?
Ready to listen to others.
Yeah, it's related to listening. Yeah. What about this? Feedback. What does that mean?
He takes the feedback from his listeners.
Yes, he takes feedback and also he can give good feedback. He can receive feedback and give feedback. And then number 10, picking the right medium. Any idea what that means?
we should understand others and we should know how to tell others.
Root of the listeners.
Ability to change the language. Language. Level of language. Different.
Picking the right medium. Here we're talking about media. The different media like print, email, a letter, a telephone call, face-to-face, the right medium. So for instance, if I want to ask my boss for a raise, do I send him an SMS on my cell phone? I want to ask my boss for a raise. Do I say, hey, boss, what's up?
Yeah.
How are you?
Immediately we get
Raise? Is that the right medium?
Level of language is formal or informal.
Yeah, so that's related to medium.
Yeah.
So you have to know when to speak face to face, when to write an email, when to write an SMS, when to write a formal letter, when can an informal text do.
Even through SMS, if the language is refined and formal, it's okay.
If-
Suppose I have to communicate with my boss,
Mhm.
it's not possible to directly talk to him. Then I send one SMS. If I change the language, it's also okay.
Yeah,
Instead of saying, hey boss, sir, I need to talk to you so and so.
Yeah.
If I change the language into formal, then it's also accepted.
It depends, I guess it depends on the relationship. I think it's becoming more and more common to use
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
SMS like memos.
Yes.
In the US, I think it's still not so common. If it's important business, you don't use the SMS.
We are using SMS, sir.
More, yeah. So the students also have to have some sensitivity. to the, you call it the level of language,
Yeah.
the level of language and the right medium.
And not only that, for example, I'm speaking to children. I use very formal language, ornamental language. That's also my communication phase. So I have to come to the level of my children.
Yeah.
Suppose I'm speaking with well-learned colleagues like this group, I'm using the language of children. Even then I fail. So right medium of language should be there to communicate.
Yeah.
The level of language we should have.
Yeah. So a good communicator knows how to do that. Now, these skills, for some people, they come naturally. But for many people, they don't. And for your students, they might not naturally have good communication skills. Maybe they don't have a good family life. Maybe their parents don't have good communication skills. So they don't learn it at home. So we have to help them develop these communication skills in our classrooms because maybe they don't learn it when they're growing up, right? So group work, fortunately, group work helps to practice this. But you have to also teach it to the students because they might not know all of this. So in your handbook, you'll see some explanation of all those different communication skills. I would also say in any kind of CLT activity, you can also keep emphasizing these things. Because, if the spokesperson stands up, maybe you have some demonstration or some lesson on how to be a good spokesperson. So they should be friendly, concise, empathetic, and so on. So you can use the group work to practice these things. You don't have to practice them all at once, but take them one at a time. Okay, I want to move on now to looking at interview skills. And the way I've organized this employability skills section is I found this job application for Shell Oil in India. Yeah.
Would you mind going back to the previous one a little? But how to teach all these things to the students in the class? Suppose we are doing these things, for example, empathy, friendliness. What are the methods and the techniques that we can use to teach these things?
Well, I think the first one is that the teacher has to model all of these behaviors. If the teacher is friendly and empathetic, then the students can learn that from the teacher. And then when you're doing group work or when somebody is standing up to be a spokesperson, maybe you have one session on good presentation skills. And so you elicit from the students, how do you do a good presentation? Well, you should be clear, concise, you should show confidence and respect to your audience. So like I said, you don't have to do them all at once, but these should always be in the back of your mind when you're doing any lesson in JKC. I think you can use it all the time. When you're doing group work, before you do group work, it's useful to talk to the students about what is good group work. How do you work good? How do you work well in a group? So before you do any group work, you ask them, students, we're going to do group work. How can you cooperate in the group? Give me your advice. And you would listen. And the students, they will know. If you ask them, well, we should be friendly. We should listen to everybody. We should give everybody a turn. It's easy, isn't it? It's the same. So if you're doing good group work in the class, and if you make the students conscious of what is good group work, they will automatically practice a lot of these. And then you'll see, today and tomorrow, we're going to be doing some more activities that include some of these, like body language and so on. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't try to teach them all at once, but you can present them, and then day by day, you're practicing them. But any other ideas on how you can present these or practice them? I mean, that's my suggestion. Do you have any other ideas? Yeah. Yeah. Well, then, like maybe at the end of the training, the students have to make presentations, and maybe you have some kind of checklist, right? Was the student friendly? The students can also give the feedback. The students can have a checklist, and you have 4 or 5 items that you've talked about in practice in class, right? You should be clear, friendly, confident, and empathetic. And the students have a checklist, and maybe when they're watching the presentations, they rate the other students. Were they clear? Were they friendly? Like that. Lots of opportunities to practice this. But, I mean, I think the way you don't do it is you don't just show them the slide and say, these are the 10 skills you must know. Now, do it. That doesn't help. You have to practice it. Okay, so we're going to practice all of these today and tomorrow. I promise you. We'll have lots of practice. So the way I've organized this is I took this application, this job notice from online, from Shell Oil. And this is the procedure if you want to get a job with Shell in India. So first you have to look for a job. Then you apply. You send in your CV. Then you go for an interview. It's the first interview. And then if they like you in the first interview, then you go back for a second interview. They call it an assessment. So it's a very common procedure for getting a job. And I've broken it down like this. Sometimes these two might be together, right? The phone interview might be the first interview. And then sometimes all these 3 might be together as a second interview. But generally, those are the steps. You have to find the job. You submit your application. You go for the first interview. Go for the second interview. Okay? And I think you were saying your students had the same experience. Yeah. No. Yeah. Usha. Yeah. Can you tell us some of your students at the JKC, how they went through this same procedure?
I'm unable to see the screen.
You're
I'm
blocking
unable
the
to see. I'm blocking the screen.
Yeah, but anyway, what you told me
Yeah.
this morning, your students did the same thing.
Yeah. Not my students. Actually, I conducted a mega job drive. So not only our students from BTech and MBA and MCA, they have experienced it.
In the JKC.
Not JKC. Not the regular ones.
It's a job fair.
Job fair
Job
conducted
fair.
by me.
Oh, okay.
The managers, they have conducted. After getting through the written test, they have conducted a group discussion.
So how they are selected? What is the procedure?
So first, the companies came to your...
They have just closed the door. They did not allow me to come.
But the procedure is same, all the same.
Written exam followed by group discussion and followed by personal round.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 rounds.
A written test followed by group discussion, followed by jam, and then technical round, and later it was personal interviews. Yeah.
So the first interview, the companies came
Yeah.
to your campus.
Yes.
And
They have conducted a written test.
that was the first.
Yeah. And they were shortlisted. The shortlisted candidates were again taken for group discussion. And again the selected candidates were taken for jam. just a minute. The final round was personal interviews.
So,
Individual, yeah, personal, technical.
so the personal interviews, that was the second interview.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then for that, where did they go for the second interview?
The same place.
Same place.
Yeah.
But you said also.
For the second interview, they have gone to their own respective companies.
Right.
Bangalore and Chennai.
It depends on the company.
It depends on the company.
Every firm has its own selection process.
Right.
Only group discussion. Depending on their performance, they pick up candidates.
Yeah.
Likewise, they do it.
Yeah.
Some companies conduct written tests, group discussion, and also technical tests. All these.
Yeah.
So they have rigorous process of selection.
Right,
It depends on the company.
Okay, anyway, for this workshop, we're going to follow these steps. Just as a framework. So let's begin at the beginning there. The first